I'm Gareth Watkins from Watkins Contractors Limited in Herefordshire, and I'm the Krone Central Kingpin. So I'm the third generation with Watkins Contractors Limited. We're a family-based company in South Herefordshire, covering combining, drilling and sugar beet along with forage crops. So with the forage we do 1,200 acres of grass a year, 800 acres of whole crop and 1,600 acres of maize, blended in with our other cropping. So as well as the contracting, we also have a farm, and we farm 1,800 acres of our own ground, some owned, some tenanted and some in farm partnerships. So we operate with the Krone brand tedders, rakes, a 760 and an 880 rake. Then we have front and rear mowers and an extra rear mower mounted, the 320 CVs. We then have the Forager behind us, which we're into our 4th season with at the moment. So we try and specialise and be a little bit different. So our Krone square baler is the multi-pack baler. It's a bit more individual, it's the 120 by 70. But the 120 by 70 baler with this multi-bale has been a real growth area for us. We like to have something that's a little bit different, that we can offer a different service to other contractors, and that have been able to offer that multi-bale. So in an 8-foot bale we could put 8 bales into it. So obviously 6 strings on a 120 by 70 bale, and the outside 2 strings and the middle 2 strings hold the whole bale together, and then so strings number 2 and 5 are the multi-bales. So a customer in theory could cut strings number 1, 3, 4 and 6, and the bale would come apart into its different splits. And that's become a real growth that customers like that, as customers that either are horse customers, so we can stack a 8-foot bale into their sheds, and then with sack trucks they can move round to the stables, the small individual bales, which in theory would be a foot long, 120, which is 4 foot wide, and then 2 foot tall. So it's quite a handy bale. It is slightly bigger and obviously has more in it than a conventional little bale that people would have been bumping around, but it gives the added flexibility of being able to clear a field quickly, but having those small bales for handling later on. That was our first step into a Krone baler. We were amazed at the build quality on that. So it's easier to stack, easier to move, but still gives that smaller bale for individual needs for horse customers, for livestock showing customers. It's an extra string to our bow. So our first introduction to Krone was in 2011 with our rake, but our first introduction with the Foragers was in 2013, where we made a step away from our previous Forager to a BigX 700. Very pleased with that. The step we went was that we found the Forager was built for the higher outputs, where previous machines we felt were being adapted to try and accommodate greater yield, greater cropping, and the Krone was already built for that high output machine. So that was the 700 was the first one we went to, which we bought with the grass header, the whole crop header, and a maize header, 12-row maize header. That first step from a 6-row Kemper up to a 12-row maize header was a big step for us. It was a huge jump forward. So in 2019 we then moved to the BigX 780. We were pleased in past we were only doing 3 years with a Forager and find that it was time to change it. But when we moved to Krone we were able to do 5 years. So we did 5 years with our first machine and then changed to this BigX 780 here. We found also with the maize we put the Opti-Maize mill in, and those chevroned angled blades in there provided a very consistent, even more than the 700, consistent chop and feed in, which was what a customer needs. Also with the angles of the blades inside, there was chop quality from the start of the day to the end of the day, all the way through. And we were getting the feedback from our digester customers that with previous machines we were getting whole leaves sitting on top of the digester and stopping the bubbling process, where the Krone is providing even crop feed all the way through the day. The BigX 780 also we added on for the yield monitoring, so that we can then more accurately give our customers what yield, what crops they've had when we finished. It also feeds in then for the additive that we're putting on, we can provide an accurate per tonne litrage of additive for the customers. So we've been able to get on with jobs quicker, but still providing the quality of the work. The drivers are saying how much better the cab is. So for operator comfort within the cab and the display screen and be able to alter settings on the move while they're working is a step up from where we were with the 700 as well. The additive tanks have been able to the split tanks that you can then configure how you want to either split them into fuel tanks or to additive tanks, gives the added flexibility to us as well. So on our grass header then that we've moved to the feed rollers even feed in the front, which obviously is all crops, it gives us a greater feed in, but with the different spacing between the pickup tines gives a far more even feed. We were finding before with the tines all in one line, the grass was coming through in waves and in pulses, when now it gives a consistent feed all the way through, which obviously then helps it keep a regular chop inside the drum. We run a 40 knife drum, but for grass we run a half set of blades, and so that we can then give a flexibility which is great for our machine between our digester customers and our livestock customers, because the livestock customers generally want a longer cut. So that being able to swap, which it doesn't take as long as I thought it would for us to take half a set of blades in and put those blankers in, so we can be flexible for all customers then. So on all the Krone headers with this, on the 780, the newer models, there's the new arc on the front of the headers, and that arc gives us better lateral float, which makes we'll be able to follow the ground contours far greater. So the grass header, the whole crop header and the maize header, that ground contour following is a lot better with the new arc system.